I did not have my mic on. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Songwriting Simplified with me, Jonny Lipsham, here at jonnylipshamstudios.co.uk up in Scotland. And I also have with me my partner in crime, the great, the legend that is Rich Cresswell, who is down in England. And tonight we are Rich is gonna be with us for just a few minutes. And then it'll be me on my own after that. But tonight we are officially launching something very special. And it's that time of year. It's crazy that it's this time of year already, because I really feel like I've only just kind of gotten over the last one. But yeah, we're launching our Christmas Songwriting Challenge tonight. The door is already kind of ajar already, I think, because the workspace is already open and people are already flooding in, which is awesome. But yeah, tonight is the official launch of it. So, Rich, why don't you fill us in on some of the details?
Yeah. So, for those of you that frequent the Facebook channel for support, you'll have seen a notification about this starting. And if you're not a member of Studio One Pro Plus, or in fact, you're not even a Studio One user, you can take part. The only thing that you need is a my.personas account, which is free. And I would bet that probably most people that are watching this right now probably do have at least a my.personas account. But all you need to do is literally go to my.personas.com and sign up to create a free account. At which point, obviously, you'll have the free account, but me and you won't be connected. So if you wish, if you're in contact with me on Facebook, you can message me there. Or in theory, you could potentially tag me in Facebook, either in the support group and say, hey, I want to take part. That's all you need to write. I want to take part. Just tag me. And I'll take that as the assumption that you want to be added to the workspace. We'll message each other. I'll take your email address, then I'll get you an email sent with an invitation to join the workspace. If you're on Studio One Pro Plus, if you're sort of part of the community and you haven't connected with me, but you'd like to be part of it, then just simply go to my profile and I'll get you the link for that and put it in the comments here. But all you're going to need to do at that point is just connect with me. And again, I'll take that on the assumption that you want to be added to the challenge. Putting in the chat now my profile address for my.personas. That's my profile. So it's my name, about me, exchange content. And all you need to do is just click on connect. And I'll do the rest for you. So the idea is pretty simple this year. We don't do too much of a proper challenge at Christmas because we appreciate that there's people busy. We've obviously got Thanksgiving underway as well, and Christmas on the horizon real quick. So people are going to be busy, maybe traveling to relatives and that sort of thing. Don't have a huge amount of time, so we want you to write a piece of music that is really kind of maybe your interpretation of what Christmas music maybe should be. But it doesn't necessarily have to be that. We need to be flexible. It doesn't necessarily have to be quote unquote Christmas music. We want you to write a piece of music for the Christmas challenge. Creativity is key. And also, I suppose when it comes to the mixing aspect of it, which I'll sort of mention in a minute, fidelity will be important in that regard. So when it comes to writing a piece of an original music, if you recorded this on your phone, okay, and just imported it into Studio One, maybe tweaked it a little bit, exported it, uploaded it to the workspace, you know what? it could be just like a bad-ass song and wins. Okay? But it could be that you've got other ideas. You've got other plans to use different instruments and effects and stuff like that. Creativity is key, as I say. So it doesn't need to be in a specific key. We don't need to be worrying about scales. We don't need to be worrying about necessarily too much in relation to, sort of the theory aspect of it. We want you to have fun with it. It's Christmas time, okay? It's kind of a bit of a break at the end of the year. After all of the hard learning and things that we've put into place over the year, you get an opportunity to sort of relax and just go with it. And hopefully with all the things that you've learned over the year on this channel, you might be able to make use of those and make use of them maybe much more easily than you have done in the past. It's kind of the goal here. And if you're mixing, so there is a song up that you can mix. There are some things that I've done to make it a little bit tougher. There are some anomalies, little things maybe to catch you out. Could be to do with the levels. It could be to do with, little sounds where audio's clipped off. These are the things regarding the mix elements I'd be looking to hear if we've corrected. But when it comes to the mix, again, just be creative with it and go with the flow. You can do either of these. So you can write an original piece of music, or you can just mix the challenge song. You don't have to do both. And in theory, you don't have to do any of them. But just by making an original song and uploading it, or mixing the challenge song, you are entered. That's it. It's all you need to do. And you can do this as many times as you want. So if you're quite a creative person, you've got 10 songs in the barrel right now, and you're ready to fire them off, go for it. Write 10 songs. If you can do it, do it. If you want to do several mix variations, so obviously we're all familiar with the mix version 1, mix version 2, mix version 2C, mix version 2D, mix version final mix, final mix version 3, final mix version 4. Go for it.
Yeah, final mix or the cat gets it version.
Yeah. It's absolutely fine to do that. In fact, I'd encourage it, because it could actually be quite useful, not just for you, but for other people, because we can use the different versions of mixes potentially to help each other out. So you could upload something, and then maybe one of your fellow challenge participants could say, well, hey, I really love this, but maybe change this bit. I'm not going to say anything like specific, but we can help each other out. And same with songs as well. If you upload a song because you think you've got it nailed, and you listen back to it the next day, and you're like, oh damn, I need to change my lyrics on that because I've got a way better lyric. Don't delete it and then start uploading a new version. Leave it there, because we're the ones that are judging it, not you.
Yep, and it may just win.
Your poor lyric choice on the first one that you upload.
Yeah.
It gives you more of a chance of winning. So just have fun with it and don't take it too seriously. But if you happen to be in a position where you're the winner, and it can either be somebody that has written an original piece of music or has done a phenomenal job with the mix, then you're going to win a 12-month subscription to Studio One Pro Plus. And of course, what comes with that is a perpetual license to Studio One version 7. And this is why, we're sort of opening it up to all DAW users. Okay. So if you use Pro Tools, Cubase, you use Reason, if you use Fruity Loops, if you use what's the Mix Magic or whatever, like some really poor DAW, if you just simply upload a waveform that you've recorded on your phone.
Yep. 4-track tape machine. That'll do.
That'll do. Yeah, absolutely. We do, obviously the only things that we don't really accept are things like, faxes, telegrams, pigeon, smoke signals,
Yep.
that kind of stuff goes out the window. But as long as you can provide us with actual music, we don't care.
Yeah, definitely. And there are essentially, other than what we've just said, there's essentially no rules other than have fun and get us into that seasonal vibe. If you want to use sleigh bells, use sleigh bells. If you want to, you know, use sounds from Splice that you might find of a chicken being stuffed, then go for it. Whatever makes the song work, whatever makes the song entertaining, and engaging, and puts into practice stuff that we've talked about over the last 12 months. That's kind of what we're looking for, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what entries we get. Really excited this year. This year is going to be really, really cool, I think.
Exactly.
And the prize is phenomenal. A year's membership of Studio One Pro Plus, at which the end of you get a perpetual license as well. I mean, it's essentially two prizes for the price of one. So
I'd love to see somebody win it that doesn't use Studio One. I'll be brutally honest.
yeah, that would be great.
Just see actually how awesome it is.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. So the door is now open, and you can start signing up and start working on your songs. And we need to talk about the deadline for this, because let's see, we probably are looking at
The 18th, isn't it? I think that's yeah.
Yes, the 18th. Now, that will be when it closes, and there's a reason why I'm saying this, because I'm actually at a wedding on the 18th, so there won't be a show on the 18th. However, winners will be announced on the Sunday after, so that'll be on the 22nd. So if you get all your entries in on the 18th, the doors will close at 0100 hours on the 19th, basically. So 0100 hours our time, which is normally when we finish the show. That's the end time. So get your entries in by then, by the end of when the show would normally be on that Wednesday. So that's going to be 7 p.m. Central Time. That's the cutoff point. And then we will spend our few days after that going through all the entries. And on the Sunday, the 22nd, a winner will be announced.
And I think additionally, something to mention as well, obviously regarding the fact that it's open to everybody, is that if you know somebody that you think, do you know what, I'm going to take part, but I think I've got a good friend who doesn't use Studio One, but they rock, and I think they should probably give it a go as well, because heck, they might just, I'm not saying or trying to convince people to jump sides from one of the DAW to another, but at least if they can have the opportunity to use it and see kind of how it works, and they get a perpetual license, awesome. If you've got friends that do music and maybe they've never done something like this before, maybe encourage them to do it.
Yeah.
Many of you in the chat have my contact details. You know how to reach me. Just pass those on.
Yeah. And one thing I will say, just to make sure that there are no misunderstandings, we're not saying don't enter if you use Studio One. Do enter whatever DAW you use. If you're using Studio One, if you're using any other DAW, please do enter.
Yeah, and what I'll do, because obviously I appreciate that Studio One 7's recently come out, and some people have recently upgraded, right?
Yeah.
Which means that essentially, if you were to activate it, you've got essentially 2 activations or 2 licenses. I want you to be completely in the understanding that if in 12 months' time we see because obviously we're not going to see a version 8, okay? Because obviously the numbering now ends, okay?
It will change.
So at the end of your current billing cycle, if you're doing it monthly and you want to have it start from the end of the month that you're currently on, I'll accommodate that. If you want to wait until the end of the year, okay, because maybe you've got like a 12-month subscription and you're kind of not that far into it, I'll accommodate that too as well. So what I'll do is I'll make sure that you've got the license activation for this, that you can just simply add to your account at the end of your billing cycle so that you can use that when you want.
Yeah, that's a terrific point, because Just Bob actually just asked that very question just as you were answering it. So that's cool. So if you're already a subscriber, he says, would it be possible to have a list of people who don't subscribe? Can we gift that to them? I don't think we can do that because of GDPR compliance.
Yeah, I think obviously if you want to gift it, okay, I think generally what we would do, and as we've done this before, we did it last time actually with the challenge, is if somebody wants to relinquish, winning essentially, okay, and they do win, then as long as you folks are happy, and I don't see an issue with this, but we will kind of like tier it when we're judging it. We won't say, in what order we think, the winner should be. But what we'll do is if you win and you've already told us, I don't want the prize, I'd quite happily give it to somebody, then what we'll do, for the sake of keeping it within the contest, within the challenge, we'll award it to the next person that we think is worthy. Of course, if you do win it, I mean, yes, technically you can do what you want with it. It's yours at that point. But if you don't want it, then I think the moral and honourable thing would be to say, I'm cool. I've got my own, subscription. I'm happy with it. I don't need to add or anything like that. Just let us know, and we can just adjust that.
Yeah, that's a great point. That's a terrific answer to that question as well. So that's cool. Dwayne says he's late, but he'll replay what I missed. Okay, cool. Yeah, we're just talking about the Christmas challenge, which is now open. And there is a 12-month membership of Studio One Pro Plus up for grabs in this year's contest. And there's pretty much no rules. Just write a song that is seasonal. And you can submit that as your entry. I think really the only restrictions with the song really is it's got to be between 90 seconds and 5 minutes, I think.
Yeah, and preferably something that isn't sort of already done and out there, i.e. something that you've recorded, 6 or 12 months ago. It's okay if you've got something that you were kind of working on, but you haven't finished it or whatever. That's cool. But also, I mean, obviously, I think, although it's nice to do covers, because a lot of songs that we cover are good for a reason. They're like great songs. But keep it original. But if you do happen to do a cover, okay,
public domain,
and you quite like it and you'd like to kind of show it off a bit, okay, just upload it. Just upload it. That's what the workspace, people can have a listen, give you feedback, tell you what they think about it, stroke your ego, make you feel better about it, and it's all cool.
Yeah, we just won't be able to play it on the show. But
yeah, that's the only downside to that. But
so
it's all about you. It's all about you telling us what Christmas means to you. Maybe not like a second or third hand interpretation, because we love those old songs. They're awesome for a reason,
Yeah. So, for example, if you want to do what I did last year, which was, I think we all did kind of a particular song. So last year we did Carol of the Bells, and I basically did a reharmonization of that. I made it into a kind of like a modal jazz thing. If you want to do something like that, not necessarily jazz, but if you want to do your own reharmonization of an already existing Christmas song, make sure it's a public domain song, so it's not copywritten or anything like that. So there are you can Google lists of public domain Christmas songs, and you'll find that there's actually a good number of them. Carol of the Bells is actually one of those. So if you want to do that, you can do that if you wish. And then there's Silent Night, I think, is public domain. Because I think the music was by Beethoven, and I forget who wrote the lyrics to that particular carol. But yeah, if you want to do something like that that is public domain, then you can do a reharm of a public domain Christmas song. No problems.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm assuming everyone's kind of down with it.
Yeah, it kind of looks like it. Neil says, "I hope that someone who uses our door wins." Well, our door is an interesting door. I think I've only run into it maybe a couple of times. It's interesting.
It's a bit like, like Sequoia, isn't it? Like you just hear people and see people using it, but it's not like a mainstream thing.
Kyle says Grandma got run over by a Guinness truck. That's as good as that song. There's a song out of Glasgow, which is "You Can't Push Your Granny Off a Bus." That's a good song.
Yeah, I just want to add something actually regarding that, because that reminds me of, like, funny limericks and stuff like that. And going back to that point I was saying about recording something on a phone or whatever.
Yep.
If you're a particularly good wordsmith, okay, and you've got a limerick or something that you're writing, or throw it in.
Yeah.
Just throw it in.
Yeah, we'll take beat poetry for sure. Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, if you scat, beat, poetry, limericks, poetry, whatever.
Yep, we'll even read it
it's
out.
kind of all good.
Yeah, you can record your poetry. You can even have somebody else set your poetry to music if you want. So there's a whole lot of creative options for you guys to think about and get involved in, but there's not a lot of time. It's just under a month. So time constraint is a wee bit shorter, which is why we've made it a lot more kind of optional and open-ended as to what you can do. So no specific scales, no specific chords or keys or tempos or styles. We will do kind of more restrictive things like that over the course of next year, to kind of test you. Can you do something at X tempo in X key? Yep, so stuff like that we will cover, because we've done scales, we've done some weird scales, so why not do something that's kind of like it's got to be in a certain key. Yeah, we can do those all in 2025, so there's plenty of options there.
Before I go,
yeah, you've got to go on.
Yeah, before I go, if we all get it, we're all in and we understand it, and everyone's kind of like, yeah, I'm in for that, let's do a bit of that, just hit the thumbs up now.
Yeah, so let's get those likes on,
just so we know. And obviously I appreciate that there might be some people watching now, or during a re-recorded replay, that aren't necessarily commenting in the chat as they are right now. Just give it a thumbs up, let us know that you came along and it's something that you're interested in.
Yep.
And reach out. Obviously, if you're watching this on a replay, obviously whilst this was live, the bit that you can't see is that there's questions in the chat that people are asking and talking to each other and just generally having a bit of a good time.
Yeah,
if you've not watched this live before, if you can make time for it in the future, subscribe, and then you can partake in that, and questions can be answered in real time.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And if you are watching this on the replay, thank you for watching, and please do drop a comment down below. You won't be able to pop it in the chat, but you can certainly drop it down below And that would be another place, if you want to reach out to us and say, hey, I want to get involved, then, both Rich and myself will take a look at comments after the fact as well, just in case anybody posts down below that you want to be involved. We will grab you from there as well. Rich, thank you very much, because I know you're not feeling particularly in tip-top shape today, so thank you very much for dropping in and helping launch the show. The challenge. I appreciate it a lot, and thank you for all of your efforts with the workspace and all of that behind the scenes. You are a ledge, my friend. Thank you.
It's my grain, not your grain. Yeah.
As a fellow migraine sufferer, I feel your pain, my friend, totally.
It's absolutely fine. I mean, no sympathy required in the chat, and I mean that. But I hope that that if you haven't already accepted the invite, if you've had one, that you do accept it. Throw something in. It doesn't matter. I'd even listen to a tape record, or not literally a tape recording, but a recording. Just put your put your recorder on the end of the table at over thanks or sort of over dinner around Christmas time or whatever. Record that.
Yeah.
Whatever. There's music going on. It's all just don't take it seriously.
Yeah, chuck it in there. Have some fun with it. Because fun's the name of the game at this time of the year.
Exactly. Exactly.
Thanks a lot, buddy.
So,
I appreciate your time.
I'll see you guys real soon, and good luck.
Cheers, buddy. Alrighty. So it is now just me. So I'm going to go into the larger screen view. There we go. Yes. So now we have our challenge launched and our challenge out there. If you want to do spoons and a vocal, then that is an option for you as well. If you want to play a pair of spoons and just record a vocal and record those into a microphone and just hit go in Studio One, that is also an option. So be creative and have some fun with the challenge. So we got like 30 minutes left of the show. We got 17 people in here, which, because it's Thanksgiving Eve, I was kind of like, not sure how many people will get tonight, but thank you, all of you, for coming in on Thanksgiving Eve. I appreciate it, because I know that, your time over this Thanksgiving period is precious, and I appreciate that very, very much. So thank you, everybody, for piling in here. Neil says, the Irish Rovers, funny how in the late 60s they had a hit with The Unicorn. Early 80s they had a hit with Wasn't That a Party? Yet their legacy will be Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer. Yeah, that is definitely true. That is definitely true. So if you want to add some comedy elements to your song, if you want your song to be full of comedy, then we will take that too. Christmas comedy is always a good thing. So since we're talking about being creative and writing creative music, I thought I would give you something that could help you. Whether you're a keyboard player or a guitar player or whatever your instrument is, this little tip is going to come in handy. If you have Lukas Ruszczyka's Harmony Wizard, you can use the Harmony Wizard to do exactly what I'm going to show you. It's a little bit of music theory, but it's not a lot. This is actually really simple, and it's actually something excuse me, something that we've actually covered before. Slayer Bells comes to mind. Rock, I knew you would think of something like that. That would be good. So what I'm going to show you is a cool way in which you can make something that has static kind of harmony have some forward motion and some interest. So what we're going to do is, at the piano here, I'm going to play basically 1, 4, and 5 in E major. So basically E major, A major, and B7. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to make triads, 3-note chords, that I'm going to play in between each of those chords. And it's not complicated because everything is derived from E major. So if you know your E major scale, then this is going to work for you. So in that respect, it's kind of a little bit modal, but really I'm talking about just taking a 3-note shape. So if you're a guitar player, taking maybe this kind of little D shape, and over the open E string, you can move that around and find triads, 3-note chords that will sound good over that open E string. So when you're doing that, you will find that you'll create some really unique and interesting chords. So I'm going to show you how to do that on the piano. I would show you on the guitar, but I don't want to wake my kids up. So fortunately with the piano here, it's going straight out to YouTube, and the volume coming out of the speakers is really, really low. So it's not going to wake up my kids. All right, so here we go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do chords 1, 4, and 5. So there's chord 1 and 4 and 5. So I'm going to start obviously with an E major triad. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that triad and move it up and down. So something like that, but over the E. Hey, yeah. So basically what I'm doing is I'm just taking notes from the E major scale and making a little 3-note chord. So there's a little something there that you can try. So if you're a guitar player, then it's going to be a little easier for you if you're a guitar player, because what you can do is you can just take a D or an E or an A shape, and you can move that around the fretboard, and you can find chords that work. Like I did, you'll bump into some chords that don't necessarily work, and some notes that maybe don't work quite as well. And then you just use your ears to decide what fits best to you. Yeah, Bobby, if you want to join, then connect with Rich, and he'll get you the invite sent. He's not sent invites out to everybody yet, but don't worry, you'll get the invite because you've been involved in a couple of these now, so you'll get added. Just Bob says the chat on my phone doesn't advance. Weird. Have to keep backing out. Oh, that's strange. I don't know about that. I don't know why that might be, but it is definitely working here. So I hope that gives you a little helping hand as to what you might want to do. Just taking a simple 3-note chord and moving it around over a simple chord 1, chord 4, chord 5. And I did extend that out a little bit, going to, the 6. I did a walk down as well. So you can certainly do that and then put different chords over the top. And you'll find that you will encounter some chords that are maybe a little bit more complex than you would normally play. But they all exist from the E major scale. So that would definitely work. And then you can transpose that to whatever key you want. So if you want to do that kind of an idea, but do it on white notes rather than having to do any black notes, you can do this in C major as well. So same principle. So it works just as well in C major. In fact, arguably, it works even easier in C major, especially if you're not a keyboard player, because you can just use just the white notes. And you'll find that, Fs and Bs don't necessarily always work in your triad, but sometimes they do. Sometimes they work very nicely and they provide a little bit of tension. So you can certainly use those. So you can do yours in C major, you can do it in G, you can do it in D, E, whatever. When I suggested E major, it was more because that's easier for guitar, because you can use more open strings than you can if you're in C major. So you could do it in E, D, A, or G, or whatever, and that idea would work quite nicely. And then, you could move that around. You could try doing the relative minor. So if you're in D, you could have your bridge or your chorus in B minor, and use the B, and then do basically essentially the same idea, the same kind of notes, and they should all fit just fine. And then you can go back to the major for your verse again if you want to. So I hope that gives you at least a little bit of a launching off point that you might want to use for creating your own piece of music. I will be writing something. I'm going to have to get my skates on because I'm actually going to be a little bit missing in action for a little while. I kind of mentioned that at the start of the show. So just to give you guys the heads up of how December is going to play out for shows and that kind of thing, because there's going to be a little bit of interruption. Because I'm going to be out of the country for at least part of the time. So we will have the Studio One meetup on Friday. And then we will have the Sunday Night Live show on Sunday. As per normal, I know it's Thanksgiving, extended weekend and all of that. I'm aware of that. So I'm not necessarily expecting a massive crowd, but if you want to come, you can come. I'll be here. And then December 4th, we will have Songwriting Simplified. And then we will have regular show on Sunday, the 8th of December. And then this is where it goes a little bit awry. Because the Wednesday after, which is the 11th of December, there will be no show because I will be in Hamburg. I will not be here at all. And then we will have a show on Sunday the 15th of December. And then the following Wednesday, the 18th, there will be no Songwriting Simplified because I will be down in England for my eldest daughter's wedding. So yes, father of the bride and all of that. So it's going to be a load of fun. And then that, of course, is going to be the closing date of the Christmas Songwriting Challenge. So you've got until 7 p.m. Central on that Wednesday to get your entries in. So that's December 18th, 7 p.m. And then the winner will be announced on the Sunday the 22nd. So yeah, we will do that. And that will also be the Christmas special show anyway. So we will do an extended show on Sunday the 22nd of December for either an hour and a half or 2 hours, just depending upon how many people are here. And that will be our Christmas special show, and the winner will be announced, and we'll have a lot of fun and games. There will be games and stuff like that. So, yeah, it'll be a lot of fun. And then, of course, the following Wednesday after that is Christmas Day, which happens to fall on the Wednesday, which would normally be when we would be doing Songwriting Simplified. But it's Christmas Day. You guys need to be with your families on Christmas Day, so there will be no Songwriting Simplified. Okay? So that then leads me on to the 29th of December, which will be a regular Sunday show. And then we will have the Hogmanay special, which I do every year. And that will be at 7 p.m. That will be starting at 7 p.m. Central on New Year's Eve. December 31st. We call it Hogmanay here in Scotland, but you guys refer to it as New Year's Eve. But get used to calling it Hogmanay because that's what I call it, and that's what I'm referring to when I say that, okay? So that will take us up to December 31st. And then there'll be no show on New Year's Day, because that is also a Wednesday, but the first show of 2025 will be on January 5th for Sunday Night Live. So that is the schedule. Now, I will post up all of the details of these into the community section of this channel. So please check there for details. So how do you access this community section? It's dead easy. When you are on my channel, there is a section called Community, and you will find all my text posts and stuff like that there. So if I'm announcing that there's no show because I'm unwell or I'm out of the country or whatever, that's where I tend to post those kind of things, informational stuff. So those will be there. And also I will put up all of these dates of what shows are on and when for December, so you don't have to remember them all just now, because I don't think that's going to be very easy for everybody to do. So I will type those up and I will get those into that community section. If you are subscribed to the channel, make sure you hit the notification bell, because the notification bell will give you a notification of the post as well as videos and stuff like that. It's not just for video notifications. You should get notifications of literally everything. Okay? So that should include that. Neil says, glad you're putting the December schedule in the community section because that schedule is pretty hard to memorize. Yes, it is. So I'm just announcing it now. If you're watching on the replay, then you'll hear this again. Or if you want to just hear it through again, then watch the replay and you can catch that there. But I will put it in the community section as well, so that everybody knows what is going to be going on. So we are going to finish the show a little early today. We've got like 10 minutes left, but there's not very many people here. So what I will do just now is, if you have any questions about the Christmas challenge, about what I just showed you there, or the schedule for December, or anything to do with that, then please do get them in the chat now, and we can take up the last 10 minutes covering those kind of things, if that will help you. But like I said, I will get the schedule for December, when shows are and when shows are not, and also details of the closing date for the contest. I will put all of those in the community section, so make sure you are subscribed to the channel and you have all notifications selected in the notification bell to make sure you don't miss anything. Because this December is going to be epic. This challenge is going to be epic. The prize is epic. And I'm so excited about the whole darn thing. It's going to be pretty cool indeed. And then we get into 2025. And as we get towards the end of the year, when we get towards the end of December, and maybe even on the Christmas special show, I will take a little bit of time talking about what we're going to be doing in 2025. It's going to be very, very cool. I've got some really cool ideas. And don't forget that in 2025, if you remember back to the Personas keynote video that John Hillman, Gregor, and Joe put together, they made some really awesome announcements about what's going to start happening in terms of Studio One in 2025. So 2025 is going to be freaking awesome, because there's going to be more features added to Studio One in 1 year than there has ever been added ever in Studio One. So there's a lot of stuff, a lot of very cool, a lot of very exciting developments coming for Studio One. So if you are a Studio One person, you have a lot of good reason to believe that 2025 is going to be epic, because it is going to be epic. It's going to be really cool. I already know what's coming, obviously. And man, it is absolutely killing me that I can't tell you about any of it. Gosh darn it. But one thing I will say is, what is coming for Studio One is incredibly exciting and innovative. There's real innovations like we've yet seen for Studio One coming. Some of the stuff that's going to be in the feature sets for 2025 is amazing. So there's a lot to look forward to. There's a lot of videos that I'm going to be putting out, because I'm going to be covering all of the new features. So all of the feature drops that are added throughout the year of 2025, I will be covering those. I will be documenting those. I will be providing tutorials for those. And we will cover them on Wednesdays and Sundays, depending upon which kind of category they fall into. We will have extended live stream shows for those features. It's going to be very, very cool. So more videos than I've ever put out in a calendar year, and more in-depth live streams to help you guys get the best out of the new features that are going to be coming. And of course, Studio One will be going to a new versioning system. So Studio One version 7 is the last version of Studio One. After that, it becomes time-based. So, you know, it much like other DAWs are doing it now, where, you know, it's like the year and then a build number or something like that. That's kind of what is coming for Studio One going forward. So, so that in and of itself is a big change that we're all going to have to get used to. So Studio One Pro is the new branding for Studio One going forward. We're all going to have to get used to calling it Studio One Pro now. That's going to take some getting used to, for everybody, myself included. I've known about this for a long time, before version 7 was launched back in October. But yeah, it's going to take a little getting used to for everybody, but the future is extremely bright for Studio One and for Presonus and for Presonus products. There's so much stuff coming. It's insane. Anyway, I will end it there, seeing as there's not really a lot of questions here. Although Neil says AI, it's going to get to know each individual style of writing and start making individually tailored suggestions. That's just my guess. I don't know about that. I think AI is pretty smart. I think my personal feeling on AI is, so long as it's assistive and doesn't actually do the creative work for you, I don't have a problem with it. And I don't have a problem with it becoming a part of our workflow as creative people in DAWs like Studio One. I don't have a problem with it. Where I do have a problem with it is when the AI starts to take over and, you know, it's doing the creative work rather than us. Providing it is assistive, i.e. it helps us find resources, it helps make suggestions that we can either take or leave, then I'm happy with that. So, for my American friends, of which I have very, very, very many, I wish you all a very, very restful and very, very hearty, happy Thanksgiving for 2024. We don't celebrate that over here in the UK. We probably should have something like that. For us, we tend to have things like Harvest Festival, which is where we tend to give thanks for, you know, the bountiful harvest in agricultural communities. That's kind of what is celebrated here in the UK. But being thankful, I think, is incredibly important. I try to maintain an attitude of thankfulness pretty much all day, every day. But I think there should be specialized, set aside points in our lives where we share our Thanksgiving together. I think that's important. And so I like the idea of Thanksgiving. So all of you over in the United States, have a wonderful time. Have a wonderful, relaxing time with your families, with your friends. And we'll be back here after all of that is said and done. So we have an after show Zoom, which will be starting, I think, now. So if you want to join us over there, please do follow Billy Morgan's link. And other than that, have a good one. And I'll see you on the flip side of Thanksgiving. Take care, everybody. Good night.